Some new evidence connecting Oprah to the ongoing Diddy investigation has just been released and the internet is buzzing. There have been many lawsuits filed against Diddy over the past year, one of which was done by Adria English. In her suit, she claimed that she worked for Combs at the parties he threw in the mid to late 2000s. The parties in question would have been located in the Hamptons and Miami. She claimed that the drinks she was given on the job had other things in them that she didn't want. In addition to allegedly being forced to consume things, English claims she was also forced to engage in inappropriate acts she didn't want to do. In a shocking turn of events, Adria English and her legal team have parted ways. The cited reason is irreconcilable differences. The filing reads, as a result of fundamental disagreement between attorneys and plaintiff regarding almost every aspect of the litigation, including settlement demands, causes of action in the pleadings, and plaintiff's undermining behavior and questionable antics, an irreconcilable conflict and tension has developed between plaintiff and attorneys. One of the lawyers claimed that they never lost faith in her case, just in her, and that her case was great. The issue at hand was that English allegedly undermined their work and went behind their backs, doing things incongruent to advancing her case, to which English has allegedly responded with, I'm the client, you work for me. Another major point of contention between English and her representation was that they requested that English refrain from speaking to media. Sure enough, pretty soon after parting ways, English spoke to independent media, and the interview made its way around TikTok gossip pages. In the interview, English claimed that there were tunnels under Oprah's home. She sees what's going on because she's a participant. There appears to be a shortcut in the video, so it's unclear if her next statement came right after this line or if the video was edited around, but the next words that Adria English speaks in the video are, I ain't gonna say allegedly, sue me. As of right now, the information English talked about in this interview is still unconfirmed. No credible news site has confirmed that tunnels exist under Oprah's properties or that the talk show host was involved with Diddy's parties past being on the guest list. In a related vein, there was an image circulating around the internet that looked like a screenshot from a CNN broadcast with the headline, Underground Tunnels Found at Diddy's LA Home. This has been fact-checked by multiple credible news sources. The image is fabricated. Though Diddy and Oprah might not have been working together when it comes to Diddy's reason for currently being held in jail, that doesn't mean they've never interacted. He was once on top of the world, a world-renowned star, exactly the type of person Oprah would interview for her famous talk show. One particular interview from 2006 recently resurfaced, and after all the allegations against Diddy came out, the vibe has severely shifted from what it once was. Once innocent remarks now sound evil. In this particular interview, what used to be a fun exchange between the rapper and talk show host now has people doing a double take and looking below the surface. Oprah asked Diddy about the meaning behind his stage name, his real name being Sean Combs. Plus, his stage name has undergone many changes over the years. The rapper was reluctant to share the story behind Diddy, saying, it's a nickname somebody gave me. I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah. And that exchange doesn't seem so bad, but it's the next line that is making people uncomfortable. His conclusion was, but I can't look you in the eye and explain that one. That definitely doesn't sound great. It sounds pretty suspicious, and people are side-eyeing the moment. At the time, many people assumed that the nickname came from childhood hijinks or maybe an embarrassing story, but after everything that has surfaced about the disgraced rapper's activities behind closed doors, people's minds wander to a much darker place now. Diddy claimed in that 2006 interview that he would answer every other question but that one, further making people wonder just what could have been so bad or strange the man wouldn't share it with the world. That was the question then, at least. Today we might not have to wonder so hard about the answer. One of the biggest events of the entire Diddy situation was when his house was raided on March 25th of this year. It was discovered that the rapper owned over, allegedly, 1,000 bottles of what is rumored to have been baby oil, but is reported by BBC to just be lubricant. When news about the baby oil in particular broke, the idea was so out there that people couldn't help but want answers. Why would anyone, for any reason, need so much baby oil, and how would one even get it? Well, Combs' lawyer brought a famous bulk buying store into the conversation, Costco. They claim that people always buy large amounts of one item there all the time. Plus, Diddy had a big house and the number must have been blown way out of proportion anyways. Well, Costco is quick to detach themselves from the situation and came out with a statement that no store in the US even carries baby oil. Diddy's 2006 interview with Oprah also revealed another detail that would later be relevant. They talked about his famous white party, the party in which everyone wears white. The first was hosted on Labor Day, which is how the tradition started. Diddy wouldn't explain the meaning behind his stage name, but he he was willing to explain the reasoning behind the party's theme. His parties were attended by celebrities at all different fame levels. He said that by putting everyone in one color, it was like putting them all on the same level too. Considering the party was attended by everyone from Paris Hilton to the Kardashians to Leonardo DiCaprio, it makes sense why he would want to get everyone on the same page. Diddy and Oprah have been captured partying together in the past at many other events, after parties, and just other gatherings in general, but Diddy isn't the first time Oprah has found her name tied to some questionable characters. She was famously close to the man who also had a very public falling out with Hollywood after his past transgressions came to light. He also shares a name with a popular burger chain, Harvey's, if that helps. Oprah was seemingly publicly called out by Seal for her relationship to this person. The man posted a picture to his Instagram, the top image showing Oprah kissing the person on the cheek with the text, "When you have been part of the problem for decades," and the bottom image showing the person engaging in conversation with Oprah and another woman, this one with the text, "But suddenly they all think you are the solution." Seal added his own caption to this photo, calling out an individual for hearing the rumors but not doing anything about it, and implying that the person was pretending that they didn't know what was happening. While Seal didn't explicitly name names, there were faces in those pictures, particularly famously Oprah's. So everyone assumed he was taking a dig at the talk show host. Seal insisted this wasn't the case, it just happened to be Oprah that was the one pictured with the man. It was more about the man in the picture than the talk show host. And the text was to be taken as a generalization of the entertainment industry rather than a direct attack. But Oprah also has her own related and themed scandals attached to her name, like that of the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls, the school she opened in South Africa. It was originally designed and created to be a place to uplift girls in the community, but the good deed was quickly tarnished by a scandal. The matron was arrested and faced 14 charges. In addition to those of inappropriate physical contact, the matron was also accused of physically conflicting with a dorm parent and injuring 3 while operating a golf cart. Adding more to the scandal, Oprah was later sued by the school's headmistress for defamation, asking for over $250,000. This was a direct result of the situation with the dorm matron. While that horrible legal battle was happening, Winfrey had publicly commented that she was doing a complete overhaul of the school and its faculty and that she had lost confidence in the headmistress. The headmistress claims that these statements made it harder for her to find work. Court papers from the case read that Winfrey had originally intended to hire nurses to be the dorm matrons. However, the headmistress went a different route and, per an article from CBS News, hired 8 young women from a local company called Party Design. Winfrey's lawyers at the time wrote about this decision, saying these young women were later found to be totally unqualified to handle the position, something the headmistress had been warned about.
Jay-Z and Oprah are in some pretty hot water right now, and it all has to do with Diddy. Now, they were both good friends with Diddy, but now their connection to him could result in their downfall. Oprah and Jay-Z have both been spotted at various Diddy parties, award shows, and events with Diddy. Now, Oprah and Jay-Z actually know each other pretty well too, as Jay has been a guest on Oprah's talk show many times. Now, a source sent Page 6 a VHS tape that was sent out as an invitation to Diddy's 29th birthday in 1998. It begins with a strange home video style skit in which Danny DeVito, lying on a sofa under a blanket, says, "That's right, Puff Daddy is having a party, and this is Puff Daddy inviting you to come. Let's have a ball." Then a group of celebrities take turns reading from a script detailing the date and time, exactly how fabulous and expensive the party will be, and then reading an address to RSVP to. They say that the venue would be revealed later. Now, the group of celebrities includes Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Chris Rock, Mariah Carey, Will Smith, and Joan Rivers, to name a few. Now, it's also been said that this whole video is 6 minutes long, but just over a minute of it was posted. Now, what happened in the other 5 minutes of it? No one really knows. People who have seen this, though, claim that celebrities involved in the tape should be looked at as a potential accomplice in Diddy's case, as they appear to be good friends with him and have close ties. All those people in the video appear to be his really good friends, and how interesting is it that Oprah was a part of it? Now, at this point, Jay-Z was also friends with Diddy, so is he in the other half of the video? It seems like we'll never really know unless the full footage is released. But Jay-Z has been spotted at numerous events with Diddy, even joining him on stage a time or two. This this week, news has just been released that Jay-Z actually did participate in one of Diddy's crimes. The anonymous accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, said the incident happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party in the year 2000. There at the party, she says she was taken advantage of by the two men, while a third celebrity watched. Now, initially, Jay-Z's identity was anonymous, but in a refiling of the case on December 8th, his identity was revealed, and now everyone is talking about it. Jay-Z did put out a statement though, claiming that this accusation was a lie and denied everything. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, filed documents the morning of December 9th, asking the judge to make the plaintiff reveal herself. In the docs, Alex says fair is fair, it is not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear Jay-Z's good name. Further, the documents state that Jay-Z's built an impeccable reputation and has never been accused of or engaged in any misconduct. Now, in the documents, Jay-Z says if the judge won't force the accuser to reveal her identity, he wants the judge to dismiss the case. Now, Diddy's trial is set for May 5th, 2025, but it appears that other celebrities involved in the crimes are trying to keep their names out of the news. Now, Ray J, who was friends with Diddy, has spoken out about how some celebrities are paying off their victims when it comes to freak-offs. Now, my question is, could Oprah be another one of these celebrities? Just maybe. Ray J said, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it. Somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money that you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed." Now, the interviewer, Harvey Levin, then pushed Ray J by asking if he knew anyone personally who had been offered money to stay quiet. The songwriter replied, "Here's the other way around it, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk." He then claimed that high-profile individuals are reaching out to him, alleging they want to talk to me about what happened to them, they call me, they feel like they can trust me. Levin then asked if those contacting Ray J are high-profile celebrities who have an affiliation with Diddy. He responded, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, and I don't even know why I said it, but I said it, so what? Now they're gonna be mad, come get me." Ray J then said, "I think I said too much." Now, in the interview, he did not name any celebrities, but this still raised a bunch of eyebrows, and maybe he was talking about Jay-Z. Now, Tony Busby, the attorney representing more than 120 alleged victims of Diddy, disclosed that he sent out demand letters to the celebrities asking them to pay up or face the consequences. Tony had previously mentioned that investigations into Diddy's case had implicated several Hollywood big shots, but at the time refrained from dropping names. Now, Tony has disclosed that he's now going after other celebrities who attended Diddy's freak-offs, even if they did nothing wrong. In a new appearance on TMZ's documentary, The Downfall of Diddy Inside the Freak-Offs, Tony claims such big names are just as guilty as those who perpetrated the crimes, explaining that their silence and unwillingness to stand against it makes them liable. Now again, could Oprah be one of these celebrities? We know Jay-Z is. Now, Oprah has many controversies of her own, including the time she opened a school. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, and it was founded with $40 million of Oprah's own money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny Macgobo of mistreating them. Now, Virginia was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail. She faced 14 different charges. Now, it seems like Oprah and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running on a daily basis. Now, this is honestly so sad because it could have just been prevented. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was then sued by the headmistress of the South African Girls' School for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, this case was later settled outside of court before the arranged trial. That's not all that happened though, as in 2009 there was another scandal about mistreatment. 7 of their students were suspended for harassing their classmates, and the New York Daily News also reported that the alleged perpetrators also attempted to entice their classmates into lesbian relationships. A South African news outlet also revealed that one of the girls demanded that her victim lie to the police about what happened. Now, there's been a lot of bad stuff happening there, and it seems like no one is really doing anything about it and is just letting it happen. Not to mention, parents also came forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on the weekends. One parent said, "It was a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't a prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. "Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her," she said. So I think it's safe to say that both Oprah and Jay-Z have had some not great moments. Now, will Oprah eventually be named in a suit against Diddy? Will Jay-Z be connected to more cases? And what will happen to all the other celebrities involved that have their identities protected? I guess we'll just have to wait and see, as Diddy's trial is set for May 5th, 2025, and with that being 5 months away, there is still so much that can be revealed. But man, I sure do hope that these victims get the justice that they so deserve.
Celebrity demands are nothing new, as we've seen from our favorite diva Jennifer Lopez. But what if Oprah had a way of making them so subtle, almost hidden, that it never really clicked for us in the moment? I respect those who like to keep their personal lives, well, personal. There are some intimate things that people like to keep close to the heart. Like Michael Jackson, for example. To me, this was outrageous. Asking such a personal question of, has he ever been intimate with someone on live television? We can clearly see in the video as well, as soon as she asks that question, he becomes extremely uncomfortable by it, taking in a sharp breath from being caught off guard like that. Like most people, you'd see that reaction and you would move on from the topic. But not Oprah, apparently. She eggs him on saying, "I just wanna know, I wanna know." Why? Why do you want to know about this man's personal life so badly? What really aggravates me about this is that throughout the beginning of the clip, you can see what she's hinting at, and then finally hits Michael with a blow by saying this sentence specifically as, "I'm gonna ask you this, and it's embarrassing for me to ask you this, but I'm gonna ask you anyway." So you stopped yourself at the beginning, we can see the wheels turning in your head, and yet you proceeded to continue onwards with it. Michael was very respectful with the situation, saying that he was a gentleman, explaining that sure, he may be old-fashioned, but to him it's something that's kept private. After clearly avoiding the question multiple times, she says in this disappointing tone, "So you're not gonna answer it." Do you usually ask all the celebrities who come onto your show about their personal lives like that? Continuing to go down this Oprah rabbit hole, I've noticed there have been patterns where it doesn't seem like Oprah appreciates being contradicted or isn't able to grab what she really wants out of people from their interviews. From watching these interviews thus far, she cleverly does this in a way where she doesn't outright say, "No, you need to be saying this." But you can tell in her body language and in the tone of her voice that she is trying to persuade you somewhere else. I love That's So Raven growing up, and she had done an interview as well with Oprah. Raven clearly shows that she doesn't want anything to do with labels in terms of preference when it comes to dating and even identity when she claims herself as only American and not African American. Oprah then jokingly goes, "Oh girl, don't set up the Twitter on fire," then proceeds to go, stop the tape right now," as they're both laughing. No harm there, right? Is Oprah agreeing with her maybe? The interview takes a bit of a turn, however, as once again, Oprah is egging her on a little bit here, going, "You know you're gonna get a lot of flack by saying you're not African American." To which Raven reiterates she doesn't label herself as such. Watching Oprah's body language here is interesting, as she's constantly shifting around a little uncomfortably now that this topic is out there. It seems her interest has peaked. Her tone changes a little as well, not so much demanding her, but with a very stern tone she goes, "So I want you to really say what you really mean by that." It's very subtle, but specifically with the emphasis on mean, made me revisit the interview from a different perspective. Raven says what she means, so I'm personally not understanding what Oprah here isn't understanding. This last story is a bit of a long one, but I promise you it's worth it. Those of you who are artist performers watching this right now, please raise your hand if you've ever been told the phrase, "You'll be paid in exposure." Because I sure have, and exposure doesn't buy me eggs and milk at the grocery store. That's exactly what happened with this performer, Revolva, who's a multidisciplinary artist that specializes in hula hooping, circus acts, as well as her own writer and character performer. Revolva titles the story An Open Letter to Oprah. The life you want, asked me to work for free. The title alone already hooked me, as I was shocked to see that people who would be performing alongside the Oprah were getting absolutely nada from it. Revolva starts her letter by explaining the sheer excitement she was experiencing at how her life was about to change for the better. I've always wanted to hear, "Welcome Revolva," as I cartwheeled on stage. And the majority of us have experienced that sort of ambition when brought into a new performing opportunities that may boost your career. The woman was so ready to have her story told, to do the things she loved to do and finally get paid for it. Then I tell you my story. The profundity of all my lingering student loan debt causing you to weep and then declare to America that I am your new BFF. Revolva goes on to explaining that she had been within this industry for 12 years, wanting to make even the slightest splash out there, wanting to break free from the toxic culture of performance industry and showcase herself from what feeds her soul. As Revolva was speaking with ecstasy and euphoria, the poor woman was immediately shot down as the conversation with Oprah's producer continued. They stated, "Okay, just to be clear, you'd be on the stage outside of the event. And just to be clear, Oprah will not be on that stage. Oh, and just to be clear, this isn't a paid gig." This feels like an entirely different set overall. If these local performers are going to be on a completely separate stage and Oprah is on the other one, who's going to be in the audience? Also, might I add, Revolva states that tickets for the show ranged from $99 to $999. You're one of the biggest influencers in the world, to which I'm sure you'd be having quite the audience turn up. Why aren't these performers getting paid? I don't watch Oprah, but I'm also well aware of the classic video of "look under your chair for a gift or surprise." But I guess it's easier to do that in a smaller audience where giving out those gifts would be like buying a cup of coffee for you. Revolva even comments, featuring trailblazers who never have to dig through every compartment in their car for enough change to cross the Bay Bridge would be ringing up the local performers asking them to do their job for no pay. But hey, apparently she would receive a free ticket to the performance as well. Sorry, but an Oprah Winfrey ticket just doesn't cut out for apartment rent. Revolva would have understood the situation better if she was the one to call and ask about performing, but she wasn't. Oprah Winfrey's producer called her, thinking they would just bend over backwards for them. Everyone else was apparently getting paid though, high-end performers and all the tech and sound crew to make sure you look and sound good, right? I feel for this creator deeply as someone who used to fall prey into performing for free. However, Revolva stood her ground and actually stated she wanted some sort of pay before continuing. This was a prior agreement of having travel costs reimbursed, but that was it. And when Revolva took her right to ask for a proper payment, she was told that the acts were now fully booked and would be reached out in the future for any other opportunities. Revolva took this experience as a spiritual learning lesson, but was still proud of herself for sticking true to her art and values. Sometimes you really got to look into the hidden details of it when it comes to brain-flipping tactics that some people will do, especially when it comes to live television.
A leaked video of Oprah Winfrey inviting guests to Diddy's 29th birthday party has just been leaked. Now, Oprah was joined by other well-known celebrities and invited other famous people in a video invitation. Now, if she was a part of this invitation, I think it's safe to say that she attended the party. And listen, Oprah has been spotted with Diddy multiple times at parties, charity events, and she even invited him on her talk show. Yep, you heard that right. And on an episode, he raised some eyebrows as he refused to answer one question. In 2006, while making an appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, Oprah tried to get to the bottom of Diddy's stage names, why he changed them, and what they meant. Diddy, though, was not going to give up that information. Diddy said, "It's a nickname somebody gave me. I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah, but I can't look you in the eyes and explain that one." He then shoved the question aside and said, "It's just a silly name," and it was made pretty clear that he didn't want to share the deeper meaning and the significance of his stage name. Now, what's strange about this is that Oprah did not probe him anymore and just accepted the fact that she wouldn't get an answer. Diddy then said, "I'll answer every other question except that one." Now, Diddy has gone through a lot of different names. In 1996, under the name Puff Daddy, he released his first commercial vocal work as a rapper. He then changed his stage name from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy in 2001. No more Puff Daddy. The first week in June, we're gonna have a name change ceremony, he announced on MTV News. "I'm rocking with P. Diddy now. My man Biggie gave me that name." Now, on August 16th, 2005, he announced on Today that he was altering his stage stage name yet again and would be calling himself Diddy. He then said fans did not know how to address him, which led to confusion. He then changed his name again on November 5th, 2017, when he announced that he'd be going by the name Love, stating, "My new name is Love, aka Brother Love." 2 days later, he told the press he had been joking, but on January 3rd, 2018, he announced on Jimmy Kimmel Live that he had changed his mind again and will be using the new name after all. Now, the change became official in 2022, and personally, I just call him Diddy. I mean, all of this is really confusing, and not only for me, many people have been confused by what to call him and why he has all these different names that constantly change. Now, in his other interviews, he has opened up about his many nicknames, as he told Jet magazine in 1998 that he had a temper when he was younger and his friends started calling him Puffy. While speaking with CNN, he shared, "I've had different name changes because I only just grew up in a neighborhood where everyone had nicknames. My first nickname was Puffy." He said he was given the nickname Puff as a child because he would huff and puff when he was angry. It seems like his name will remain just one more secret that Diddy keeps from the world. Now, I don't know why he's making it such a big deal though. It honestly just makes him even more suspicious. I mean, why wouldn't he want to share it unless it was something bad, right? I don't know. It's all just very, very weird. And of course, this isn't the first weird interview that Diddy has had, and looking back now, I can't believe we let him get away with so much of the stuff he did. Now, Oprah is rich and powerful in Hollywood, but she's surrounded herself with some questionable men to say the least. She used to be really good friends with Harvey Weinstein, and well, we all know what happened to him. Now, some celebrities called her out for this, as Rose McGowan tweeted a photo of Oprah and Harvey together, saying, "I'm glad more are seeing the ugly truth of @Oprah. I wish she were real, but she isn't. From being pals with Weinstein to abandoning and destroying Russell Simmons' victims, she is about supporting a sick power structure for personal gain. She is as fake as they come. #Lizard." Now, Rose isn't the first person to call Oprah out on this, as her former friend Seal made a post when Oprah said we should focus on the bigger picture instead of Harvey's crimes and victims. "You have been a part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you are the solution," Seal said. "Oh, and I forgot, that's right. You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea that he was actually doing these things to young starry-eyed actresses. My bad." Now, Snoop Dogg has even made multiple posts calling out the star. Now, you know it's bad when other celebrities and her past friends are calling her out. It seems like Oprah has a pattern of hanging out with these types of men, and that begs the question, has she been involved in any of these crimes? I mean, she had some pretty sketchy things come out about her all-girls school that she started in South Africa. The Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls opened in Johannesburg in 2007, and it was founded with $40 million of Oprah's own money. But less than a year later, 6 of the 152 students who had been personally selected by Oprah to attend the institution came forward to accuse dorm matron Virginia Tiny McGobo of mistreating them. Now, she was arrested in November 2007 and released on bail, and she faced 14 different charges. It seems like Oprah and the organization did not look into who they were hiring and how the operation was running on a daily basis. Now, it's so sad because this could have been prevented. Now, following the first trial, Oprah was then sued by the headmistress of this girls' school for defamation. She alleged that Oprah defamed her by implying she was covering up the mistreatment going on at the school. However, the case was later settled outside of court before the arranged trial. That's not all that happened there though, as in 2009 there was another scandal about mistreatment. 7 of the school students were suspended for harassing their classmates. The New York Daily News also reported that the alleged perpetrators also attempted to entice their classmates into lesbian relationships. A South African news outlet also revealed that one of the girls demanded her victims lie to the police about what happened. There have also been rumors that girls have been going missing at the school, never to be seen again. Could Oprah have been taking the girls for her own use? I don't know, but it's just weird overall. Not to mention that parents have also come forward with complaints about the school. In March 2007, some parents complained because they were only allowed to visit their children once a month, and the girls were only allowed to use their cell phones on weekends. One parent said, "It's a nightmare. We had only 2 hours to see my child. Surely this isn't prison or an institution." Another mother said her homesick daughter was very upset over the rules. house. Michelle phones me in tears sometimes, and then I don't know what to say to her. Shockingly, the school is still up and running, which is crazy considering all the scandals that have happened there, and I would honestly never send my kid there, as it seems like there's more bad than there is good, and it wouldn't be worth it. Now, Ray J, who was friends with Diddy, has spoken out about some celebrities that are paying off their victims when it comes to freak-offs. Now, could Oprah be one of these celebrities? Ray J said, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their name out of it. Somebody has the truth, somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed." Interviewer Harvey Levin then pushed Ray J by asking if he knew anyone personally who had been offered money to stay quiet. The songwriter replied, "Here's the other way around it, Harvey. I'll give you money, please don't talk." He then claimed the high-profile individuals are reaching out to him, alleging they want to talk to me about what happened to them, they call me, they feel like they can trust me. Levin then asked if those contacting Ray J are high-profile celebrities who have an affiliation with Diddy, and he responded, "Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying, and I don't even know why I said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gonna be mad, come get me." Ray J then said, "I think I said too much." In the interview, he did not name any of the celebrities, but it still raised eyebrows.
Following her milestone 70th birthday on January 29th, Oprah Winfrey has remained a constant presence in the headlines. From her controversial weight loss methods to her departure from the Weight Watchers board after a decade, and her support for weight loss drugs like Ozempic, the self-made billionaire continues to captivate public attention. But beyond these well-known stories, there are lesser-known controversies that have surrounded her illustrious career. Starting off today, we are talking about her rise to fame and some of the early controversies. Imagine being just 17 years old and stepping into the fast-paced world of media. That was Oprah Winfrey. Hailing from humble beginnings, she landed a part-time gig at a local radio station while still in high school. Her charisma and talent didn't go unnoticed. Soon enough, she broke barriers by becoming the first black female news anchor at WLAC TV in Nashville. Can you believe that she left Tennessee State University just one credit shy of graduation to seize this golden opportunity? Talk about taking a leap of faith. But her journey wasn't all smooth sailing. When she moved to WJZ TV in Baltimore, things took an unexpected turn. Instead of co-anchoring the coveted 6 p.m. news slot, she was reassigned to host a low-profile local talk show called People Are Talking. It felt like a setback. Imagine being sidelined when you're aiming for the stars. But here's where Oprah's story gets really interesting. Instead of letting this derail her ambitions, she embraced the challenge. She poured her heart into the talk show format, connecting with audiences on a deeper level with her warmth and authenticity. This so-called demotion turned out to be a blessing in disguise. Hosting People Are Talking ignited a passion that she didn't know she had. She discovered she had a knack for engaging with people, drawing out their stories, and touching hearts. This newfound love for talk shows set the stage for her next big move. It wasn't long before she took Chicago by storm with AM Chicago, transforming it from a struggling program into a top-rated sensation. And the rest, as they say, is history. That initial bump in the road led Oprah to create The Oprah Winfrey Show, a groundbreaking program that would become the highest-rated talk show in television history. In 1985, Oprah made her acting debut in The Color Purple, earning an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Despite the film's success, it faced criticism for its portrayal of black men, leading to debates within the black community. Oprah found herself amidst this controversy, navigating the complexities of her dual role as both a media mogul and an actor. Oprah's entrepreneurial flair didn't stop at dominating daytime TV. She took a leap and launched Harpo Productions, flipping her name backward for a bit of fun and branding genius. This move was all about owning her content and building an empire on her own terms. But the real roller coaster started when she unveiled the Oprah Winfrey Network, better known as OWN, in 2011. You'd think slapping Oprah's name on a network would be a surefire recipe for success, right? Well, surprise. OWN stumbled out of the gate with dismal ratings. Critics were buzzing, advertisers were hesitant, and there were whispers that even Oprah couldn't save save this sinking ship. The network faced hefty financial losses, leading to significant layoffs and a desperate need for a content overhaul. Behind the scenes, things were even messier. Harpo Productions found itself entangled in legal battles over intellectual property rights. One particularly juicy scandal involved a lawsuit filed by a motivational speaker who claimed that Oprah had infringed on her trademarked phrase, "Own your power." The allegation was that Oprah used this exact phrase across her magazine, TV shows, and events without permission. The lawsuit stirred quite the media frenzy before it was eventually settled quietly out of court. These challenges forced Oprah to make some tough calls. She brought in heavyweight partners like Tyler Perry, whose shows injected much-needed life into OWN's lineup. So, while the world saw the polished surface of Oprah's media domination, few were aware of the backstage drama, the lawsuits, the financial gambles, and the nail-biting moments when everything hung in the balance. Oprah is an iconic figure who has spent decades sharing her personal battles with weight and advocating for self-love and healthy living, and she recently ignited a firestorm of controversy. Remember when she famously pulled out a wagon loaded with 67 pounds of animal fat on her show to represent her weight loss? For years, she was the poster child for perseverance, pushing for sustainable lifestyle changes over quick fixes. So imagine the shockwaves when she openly admitted to using weight loss medications. Yes, the very ones she once dubbed as an easy way out. In her ABC special Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution, Oprah revealed that she turned to medications like Ozempic to help her shed pounds. This candid confession caught everyone off guard. Critics and fans couldn't believe that the woman who had long promoted natural weight management was now endorsing pharmaceutical aids. The backlash was swift. Detractors accused her of abandoning her principles and potentially misleading her massive audience by promoting what they saw as a shortcut rather than the hard-earned results of diet and exercise. But Oprah didn't back down. She explained that these medications helped her stop obsessing about food, giving her a sense of freedom she hadn't experienced before. She emphasized that weight issues are complex and deeply personal and sometimes require medical intervention. This unexpected twist not only sparked heated debates about the ethics of celebrity endorsements, but also opened up conversations about the stigma surrounding weight loss treatments. Amid the whirlwind that was 2020, Oprah Winfrey found herself unexpectedly entangled in a wild internet conspiracy that very few saw coming. As the world grappled with unprecedented events, social media lit up with outrageous and completely unfounded rumors that her Florida home had been raided by police and that she was arrested for involvement in a trafficking ring. The claims were as shocking as they were baseless, yet they spread like wildfire across various platforms. Imagine waking up to find your name trending worldwide for something that you had absolutely no part in. Oprah swiftly took to Twitter, now X, to shut down the chatter, quote, "Just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true." Now, let's take a moment to peel back the layers on Oprah's personal life, a subject that's both fascinating and surprisingly under the radar. Did you know that Oprah has been in a committed relationship with Stedman Graham since way back in 1986? That's nearly 4 decades of partnership without a marriage license. They even got engaged in 1992, but here's the kicker: they chose not to walk down the aisle. This unconventional decision has set tongues wagging for years. People have speculated endlessly, some suggesting commitment issues, others whispering about hidden troubles, but Oprah has been refreshingly open about their choice. She believes that not being married has actually strengthened their bond. In her own words, she realized she didn't want the quote sacrifices, the compromises, the day in, day out commitment required to make a marriage work. Instead, she and Stedman have crafted their own version of happily ever after, one that doesn't fit the traditional mold but works perfectly for them. Then there's her decision to not have children, another personal choice that's put her under the microscope. In a society that often pressures women into motherhood, Oprah took a different route. She has candidly shared that she doesn't regret not having kids. Why? because she understands the immense responsibility that comes with raising a child. During her years on The Oprah Winfrey Show, she met countless guests whose lives were impacted by neglectful or unprepared parents. Those experiences reinforced her belief that motherhood just wasn't her calling. Oprah Winfrey is universally admired for her incredible philanthropy, having donated millions through her foundations and launching the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. But here's a bombshell you might not have heard about. Back in 2007, this very school was rocked by a shocking scandal. A staff member was accused of serious misconduct involving the students, a nightmare scenario for any institution, let alone one so close to Oprah's heart. Imagine the shockwaves this sent through the tight-knit community. Oprah, who had invested not just money but her soul into creating a safe haven for these girls, was devastated. But instead of hiding behind PR statements or letting others handle the fallout, she took charge in a way that only Oprah can. She flew straight to South Africa, stood before the parents, and addressed the issue head-on. The accused staff member was promptly fired, and Oprah implemented stringent new measures to protect her students' well-being. She overhauled the school's policies, brought in experts to ensure such an incident could never happen again, and provided support to the affected students.
Oprah has been the center of conversations for years around shady business deals, her true intentions when it comes to fame, power, and controversies about her weight loss practices, relationships with other celebrities, and even her stance on Scientology. She's no stranger to the limelight, and when it comes to secrets, she has far too many, so let's talk about it. I will admit she has quite a story. Her life's journey, while questionable, is still a testament to resilience and determination. Oprah's childhood, for the longest time, was kept under wraps. She honestly thought that if secrets from her upbringing came to light, that people wouldn't like or respect her, and it would ruin her image. Essentially, and maybe rightfully so, she assumed the media would eat it up and spin her story to highlight only the negative. Her childhood was marked by unimaginable trauma. Aside from her father being absent, her teenage mother also left her to be raised by her grandmother, who, by the way, was not very nice to her. She would physically and verbally attack Oprah, and one time on the Dr. Oz show, Oprah discussed some horrifying memories she has growing up and the pain she endured. But despite all of that, Oprah said her grandmother, at the end of the day, did the best she could. She actually told Dr. Oz she doesn't have that same pain today, but suffered many years with PTSD, depression, and anxiety. And at the time, as a kid, she just thought that all of it was normal and said, and I quote, "I knew that children were to be seen and not heard." Oprah said it wasn't until 1988, when she was watching a program on TV that discussed the body's reaction to trauma, where it clicked to her that she's having so many sleepless nights because she was so neglected as a kid and left alone for so many hours of the day and night, that it instilled a fear in her that would take years to release. Oprah's biggest bombshell secret that came out that she absolutely did not want anyone to know about is that she actually carried and gave birth to a baby boy at the age of 14. Sadly, the baby passed away shortly after birth due to complications.
When I was 14 years old, I became pregnant, hid the pregnancy until the baby was born.
But this moment had like a very profound impact on Oprah's life and emotional well-being. She even told Dr. Oz that her father, who slightly re-entered her life at that point, said to her, "This is your second chance now to make something of yourself." Those words stuck with Oprah, and she recalled thinking, "Now that I know better, I can do better." And it would seem as though she carried that sentiment for the next few decades. But does she still practice that now? It seems those words to live by have gotten lost recently when it comes to her choices. And despite Oprah wanting to keep all of those secrets from the public, she would actually face a public battle in 2011. Oprah's very public battle with depression and anxiety back in 2011 was a significant moment in her career. After 25 years of hosting her iconic talk show, she announced that she would be ending the show to focus on herself. The real secret she didn't want you to know is that ratings had dropped drastically. The show was not doing nearly as well as it used to, and the pressure of maintaining it took such a mental toll on her. Now, despite being scared of becoming irrelevant and canceling her hit show that had gone on for decades, Oprah would then go forward with launching her own network named OWN. which I think it just dawned on me that it stands for the Oprah Winfrey Network. Am I the only one who's late here? Don't laugh at me. Now, this network would go on to become super successful and is to this day still on the air. Another big secret Oprah tried to keep from the public from knowing is her personal struggles with weight. Yes, she has been pretty open about her lifelong struggle with weight and body image, but has she always been truthful? That is the better question, because going back to as early as 1997, Oprah faced criticism for promoting fat-burning pills on her show, which some experts argued were ineffective and potentially harmful. Fast forward to 2005, Oprah again faced backlash for endorsing Jenny Craig's weight loss program, with some critics arguing that the program promotes unhealthy eating habits and unrealistic weight loss goals. 2 years later, in 2007, she faced criticism again for promoting quick fix diets and weight loss solutions on her show, which some experts argued were simply unsustainable and unhealthy. And if all of that wasn't enough, she faced extreme criticism in 2011 for hosting a weight loss competition on her show, which critics argued it promoted unhealthy competition and body shaming. And honestly, I just feel like with that one, girl, you should have known better. Like, she has gone on and on about how often she's been body shamed. It's like the bullied became the bully. I honestly don't know in what world she thought that was a good idea. I'm not done though, because in 2015, we have the Weight Watchers controversy. Oprah literally became a spokesperson for Weight Watchers, promoting their program and even investing in the company. However, some critics accused her of actually promoting restrictive dieting and unrealistic weight loss expectations. Now, in very recent times, Oprah has opened up and admitted to using weight loss medication as a quote-unquote maintenance tool to manage her weight. She revealed in an interview with People that she uses the medication in conjunction with exercise, drinking a gallon of water a day, and eating all meals by 4 p.m., which could also just be intermittent fasting if we're being honest here. But she said she had a turning point where she realized she has been blaming herself for being overweight despite having a predisposition that made it difficult to control her weight. After consulting her doctor, she was prescribed the medication that she now uses to maintain a healthy weight.
I took on the shame for 25 years, making fun of my weight.
And while she didn't actually disclose the specific medication she's taking, many fans have speculated that it's the ever famous, ever trending celebrity quick fix medication that starts with an O and ends with pick. Please don't make me sing the jingle. Knowing she has ties to Weight Watchers still, it's safe to say she likely can't really discuss too much about what she's talking about, but like, with all the half-truths we have gotten from her lately, would we believe her anyway? Please allow me just another minute of your time, because I almost forgot to talk about the lawsuit back in 1997 that Oprah faced. This one, although public knowledge, feels like a big dirty secret because, well, if you're like me, this is the first time you've heard of it. So back in April of 97, during an episode on her show titled Dangerous Food, Oprah made comments on mad cow disease while discussing the risks of mad cow disease transmission through contaminated beef. Her comment was, and I quote, "It has just stopped me cold from eating another burger." The segment was widely viewed as contributing to a drop in cattle prices, and cattlemen in Texas sued Oprah for defamation in the amount of a whopping $10.3 million. The cattlemen claimed that the show's negative portrayal of their business caused a steep decline in beef prices. Winfrey won the case, but the cattlemen appealed the verdict. The U.S. Court of Appeals in New Orleans ruled that Winfrey did not knowingly and falsely depict American beef as unsafe. Oprah, once acquitted, said in a post-verdict interview, "Free speech not only lives, it rocks." That's how she said it.
As details from the Diddy situation continue to surface, new famous names keep getting attached to the music artist and his infamous parties. The latest on the list is Oprah, and the true nature of their relationship might be different from what we thought we knew. A 2006 interview between the rapper and TV host has recently resurfaced amid Diddy's recent controversy. Since the rapper's activities were discovered, every comment and interview the man has ever done has suddenly taken on a very different vibe. Once innocent remarks now sound much more sinister. In this particular interview, what used to be a cheeky exchange between the music artist and Oprah now has people doing a double take and looking deeper than the surface. Oprah had inquired about the meaning behind Diddy's stage name, Diddy. His real name was actually, Sean Combs. The rapper was reluctant to share the story behind the name, saying, "It's a nickname somebody gave me. I've never told anyone that. I know you get people to tell you everything, Oprah." And that exchange doesn't seem so bad, but it's the next line that is making people uncomfortable. He finished his statement with, "But I can't look you in the eye and explain that one." What does that mean? It definitely sounds suspicious, and people are side-eyeing that moment. At the time, it could be assumed that maybe the story came from a childhood hijinks, maybe an embarrassing story, but after everything that has surfaced about the star's activities behind closed doors, people's minds wandered to a much darker place. Diddy claimed in that 2006 interview that he would answer every other question, just not that one. At the time, the question was, what could have been so bad to warrant that kind of response? But today, we might not have to wonder about that so hard. People originally believed Diddy's name change from Puff Daddy to P. Diddy might have had something to do with a 1999 altercation in a Manhattan club involving J-Lo.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Go back and look, don't lean. Jennifer, don't lean. Nice, your sign.
For Diddy and J-Lo, the century went out dramatically. While partying the night away on December 27th, things quickly took a violent turn. What was once a fun night on the town soured when J-Lo, Diddy, his bodyguard, and another music artist, Shine, got into a disagreement with other club patrons that eventually ended in a fight. There were weapons involved in the disagreement, and people were injured by projectiles.
Whenever celebrities or someone notable is making their way through the club, you know how it is. Now, was he aiming at me? Was I the object of his fear? Absolutely not. I should not have been, because I didn't do anything to him.
After Diddy and J-Lo had fled the scene, they engaged in a car chase with police before being apprehended and taken into custody. While J-Lo was released and cleared of all charges after 14 hours, Diddy wasn't so lucky. He was sent to trial and eventually was also cleared of all charges. The only person not cleared was Shine. He did serve jail time. Now, years down the road, and Diddy is back in hot water and once again facing jail time after being faced with over 24 lawsuits accusing the rapper of being violent and acting in an inappropriate manner towards his victims. After a raid of the rapper's home, he was discovered to have owned over 1,000 bottles of what was rumored to have been baby oil. The potential jail time this time around for Diddy is potentially 15 years to life. A.D. Carson is a professor of hip-hop in the Global South currently teaching at the University of Virginia, and he used his expertise to comment on the Diddy situation and how his rise to fame worked. He even referenced something called the Diddy phenomenon. Diddy's parties, stories from them, about them, they're everywhere. But none of his parties are as famous as the one he hosted every Labor Day. It was called the White Party because everyone had to wear white, because, well, it's Labor Day. In a 2006 interview with Oprah, Diddy actually let the TV host in on why the party existed in the first place, saying, "I wanted to strip away everyone's image and put us all in the same color and on the same level." Considering this party was attended by everyone from Paris Hilton to Beyonce to Leonardo DiCaprio, it makes sense why he would want to get everyone on the same page. Professor Carson's comments on Diddy pair well with the sentiment the music artist shared with Oprah that year. In Carson's words, rappers kind of operate with symbolic value to people. That's the Diddy phenomenon. Carson went even further and claimed that because Diddy eventually grew into a person that had a huge influence over black culture, it made him someone that other black celebrities wanted to be around. Diddy and Oprah were pictured partying together at the Met Gala after party in 2010. Other famous faces featured from those photos included Pharrell and Usher. Usher and Diddy have a, now, troubling history. Usher was signed to Diddy's record label and sent to live with the rapper when he was quite young. In 2004, Usher recounted to Rolling Stone that his time spent at Diddy's New York home was interesting and introduced him to a whole new world. A world that Diddy is currently being accused of forcing on people now. So, yeah, years down the line, Usher's comments from this interview are seeming pretty horrific. Since that interview, the star has stayed way quieter about his time spent in Diddy's home. This This isn't the first time though that Oprah has found her name tied to some questionable characters. She was famously close to that guy who shares a name with a burger place and whose last name rhymes with Leinstein. She was publicly called out by Seal for her relationship to this person. The man posted a picture to his Instagram, the top image showing Oprah kissing this person on the cheek with the text, "When you have been part of the problem for decades," and then the bottom image showing the person engaging in conversation with Oprah and another woman, this one with the text, "But suddenly they all think you are the solution." Seal added his own caption to this photo, calling out an individual for hearing the rumors but not doing anything about it, and implying that the person was pretending that they didn't know what was happening. While Seal didn't explicitly name names, there were faces in those pictures, particularly Oprah's, so everyone assumed he was taking a dig at the talk show host. Seal insisted this wasn't the case, it just happened to be Oprah that was the one pictured with the man. It was more about him than her, and the text was meant more as a generalization of the entertainment industry than a direct attack. She also has her own related and themed scandals attached to her name, like that of the school Oprah opened in South Africa, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. What was originally designed and opened as a place to uplift the girls was quickly defiled by a scandal. The dorm matron was accused by multiple students of acting inappropriately towards them. They were arrested and faced 14 charges at the time. The matron was also accused of physically conflicting with a dorm parent and injuring 3 while operating a golf cart. Adding more to the scandal, Oprah was later sued by the school's headmistress for over $250,000. The headmistress had sued for defamation, and it was a direct result of the situation with the dorm matron. While that horrible situation was happening, Winfrey had publicly commented that she was essentially doing a complete overhaul of the school and that she had lost confidence in the headmistress. The headmistress claimed that these comments made it much harder for her to find work. The details of the situation are messy. Court papers from the case read that Winfrey had planned to hire nurses to act as the dorm matrons. However, the headmistress went a different route and, per an article from CBS News, hired 8 young women from a local company called Party Design. Winfrey's lawyers at the time wrote about this decision saying, "These young women were later found to be totally unqualified to handle the position, something the headmistress had been warned about." The 2 women were expected to settle this in court, but instead came to an agreement privately shortly before the date. Though there are things that the TV host should be held accountable for, there have also been many false reports made about her in recent months. It was recently reported that longtime friend of Oprah's, Gayle King, had filed a lawsuit against the TV host, but there are actually no facts backing this. Another fabricated story that made its rounds was that Oprah was arrested last month after being accused of some stuff by Diddy, but that was also proven to be false.